Still reviewing Punch, another story in Punch. Who has?
Yes, so the picture story, it's just a very painful one. It showed students, pupils of Bagusa Local Authority Primary School in Abuja sitting, without, most of them didn't have chairs. They said they sit in an open place. There's a stench coming from a dump site that's very close to the school, where you have rodents, goats, chicken, flies, and insects that are competing for food. When it rains, their classes are over, everybody has to go home. When the sun shines, they're able to have classes. They also mentioned that they don't have chairs for the students. They have about 380 students in the school, and they don't have enough chairs for them. Sometimes they have to sit on the floor. They don't have blackboards. The teachers will be reading from the textbooks and shouting at the top of their voice. And, the school management is saying that this school is actually licensed, that they got their license in 2020. And it's not like they gathered themselves in public school, yes, gathered themselves to, carry out an illegal school activity, that they have a license. And I think recently some of the people from Ministry of Education had come to the school to look at it, and they have promised that they were going to do something about it, but so far they have not come back. And they said that despite over 640 million approved by the federal government between 2020 and 2023 for the construction and provision of school infrastructure, the FCT, it hasn't gotten to them. So those students are just there, and one of the reasons the school is there is because they needed, most of the other schools are far away from the villages, so they needed something very close to them, and that's why they got that license. But it doesn't look good at all. The stench, before there's a breakout of diseases, the fact that they're not even learning in a conducive environment, because education is not just about reading and writing. The environment plays a key role. I think government needs to look into this as soon as possible. Okay.
I have this story. It says that the Lagos State High Court in Ikeja sentenced the Vandal Clement Ododomu to death by hanging, and Tiwei Monday to 16 years imprisonment. And they were brought before the court because they are vandals. They were arraigned for killing 7 officers of the Department of State Services, that's DSS, in the Ikorodu area. So they said this happened September 14, 2015. There had been a kidnap of a member of a DSS, his wife was kidnapped, and the DSS had now sent a 9-man patrol, group to the area, and then they were ambushed by these vandals, and then their weapons seized. They had someone amongst them who was able to call the office to say that they had been ambushed and their weapons have been seized, and obviously they also went ahead and they murdered them. So they have finally been sentenced. The report just shows us the back and forth in court, with their own lawyers trying to defend them, to say, oh, they were not there, or they were just caught up in it. But the court says there were none of the evidence that was brought before it showed that they were, not part of the deal. So one got hanging, the other 16 years imprisonment.
Let me take the story. Minister of Works, David Umahi, has said that the government needs $35 billion to start to complete the construction of concrete roads nationwide. According to him, he said that they're also going to be taking 16% of the steel required will be produced by Jakota Steel Company. And that he specifically said that the funding, which will be gotten through partnership with the commercial bank and be assented to by the Federal Executive Council. He can't do it by himself. He says that we're going into the concrete road. Many have said that the concrete roads are actually more viable and more, they last longer than the asphalt that is usually used. So he's saying that we're going into concrete road. In this concrete road, about 16% of the steel comes from, while 30% of is going to be cement. And we need a lot of money to start, but we decided to face it, and God has given them the idea to find creative ways in looking for this funding. The minister has said that he's resolved to ensure that he supports the president in the renewed hope agenda to make sure that it's good roads across the country. The Daily Sun, very quickly, Ohaneze Afenifere Middle Belt Foreign Press for State Police. Opera in Senate over appointment of minority leadership. New twist in Plato as Speaker Deputy resign. Nigerian elections product of manipulation. Cancer destroying democracy, says APC chieftain. Nigeria targets $10 billion revenue through national shipping line annually. Wike Fubara loyalists battle for control of Rivers Assembly. Nigeria-Germany signed $500 million deal on renewable energy. And insecurity, judiciary not helping terror war, says military. Okay.
Okay. I have play too. Okay. Just because you're my friend. So, following the nullification of the governor's election of Governor Caleb Mufwang, the House of Assembly had their speaker resign, and he says it's basically on personal grounds. He did not give details. And fortunately, this has paid off because we have a young elected new speaker who is just 30 years old. He represents the Pangshin North State constituency, Gabriel Dewan. He is now the new speaker of the House, and he promises to do well for two people.
All right, so I have Nigeria and Germany have signed 2 memorandums of understanding on the supply of gas from Nigeria to Germany and another $500 million worth of renewable energy projects in Nigeria. This, of course, was given by this information was given to us by the spokesperson to the president, Ajuri Ngelale. So the agreements are between Riverside LNG of Nigeria and Johann Schwitz, I hope I got that pronunciation right, Energy Imports AG of Germany on the gas export partnership, while the other is between Union Bank of Nigeria and DWS Group on cooperation in renewable LNG. So the project, they say, will supply energy from Nigeria to Germany at 850,000 tons per annum, expanding to 1.2 million tons per annum. And they're saying the first gas will leave Nigeria for Germany in 2026, and then there will be further expansion. They said this will extinguish the 50 million cubic feet per day of fled gas in Nigeria and open alleyways of new and greater exports of gas to Germany. So it looks, quite interesting. But as we know, with agreements like this, it will take a while to see it. As this one says, the very first one will be in 2026. Imagine that.
Yeah. So the service chiefs on Tuesday in Abuja said that the judiciary is endangering the war against terror. This was said during the service chiefs on Tuesday came to plenary, and General Musa had blamed the judiciary for releasing arrested Boko Haram suspects after they risked their own lives to arrest some of these Boko Haram suspects. They take them into custody. They're there for 5 years. So we have kept them for 5 or 6 years. We have the armed forces can arrest but cannot prosecute. Some of them have been found wanting, but no prosecution. We are keeping them there for this lengthy period. Everyone is accusing us of human rights violation, but we cannot prosecute. Another aspect of the judiciary is that they use all their own efforts to make this arrest, and their own lives are in danger because those who were arrested, once they're even released on bail, they tell them, oh, this is the person that got us arrested, and then their families are at risk. So then, according to him, the South said the last ship that was arrested 10 years ago. The shipment changed its name, changed the color, changed everything, and they came back. So right now, when they arrest them, they burn them up, destroy them immediately because they find their way back to the same thing. So they are there risking their lives. The judiciary must wake up to the task to prosecute and ensure prosecution is done so that be faster for them so that they don't have to risk their lives all the time.
So prominent ethnic groups in Nigeria, including Ohanes Zendibo Worldwide, Middle Belt Forum, the Coalition of Northern Groups, and Ijaw National Congress are backing the call by the Pan-African socio-political organization Afenifere on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to sign an executive order for the establishing of state and community policing as a way to curb the rising spate of insecurity in the country. So they made a statement, that's Afenifere, through their National Publicity Secretary, Jare Ajayi, and he said the centralization of policing is not healthy for a heterogeneous country like Nigeria, and it not only weakens the security infrastructure, but also gives the semblance that Nigeria is a unitary state rather than a federal state. And, they have, in agreement, all said that we cannot sustain having a centralized policing system. So Haneze also identified 4 levels of policing that the president should be looking into. It says the federal policing system, the state policing system, local government policing system, and other institutions having their own form of police, like the universities, that they should have a right to establish their own police, because it's now obvious that the Nigerian security architecture cannot, handle all the policing issues that we have. We need to find a way to break them down. And they cited how Amotekun has been working and very effective, and other aspects of policing that we have embraced. So they are waiting for the president to do the right thing by, establishing this community policing in different places.
Okay, final paper, Vanguard. Why insecurity is not going away, says service chiefs. Rivers crisis, 2 factional assembly lawmakers hold separate sit-ins. Senate in rowdy session over leadership positions. As governor, FCTA officials issued me fake COO, says Wike. TTP truckers bicker over sale of port entry tickets and overturning Kano Zamfara Plateau of voters' decision in court unacceptable, says Obasanjo. Okay, which story?
So I have the TTP, the MPA story. According to this, the Truck Transit Park of Nigeria Limited, which is the TTP, and the leadership of the Truck Owners Association are at war right now, and the truck owners are alleging corruption. They said that TTP is illegally selling tickets between 150,000 and 200,000, and they are the only operators of the e-call-up system, the ETO system that the Lagos State commissioned to ensure that there are no illegal parking along their roads in Lagos leading to the port. But the ETO people are insisting that no, they sell the ticket at the right price, and that truck drivers go and resell their tickets, so they make it expensive. But the chairman of the Amalgamation of Container Truck Owners Association of Nigeria, Mr. Bello Ridwan, called the name what it is. He said, this system has removed every human factor. It is a technological system. It is only TTP that can sell, and they sell at 160,000 safe to 200,000. So a system that allows you into all the entry points at the port without any human face. And you're saying that somebody resold a ticket. That TTP must be investigated for what they are doing there. Yeah, right now we have trucks everywhere again.
Yes, so in addition to the Chief of Defense Staff story that you took on what is still making our insecurity thrive, they said that they had realized that the Boko Haram people who have been arrested in the prisons are working hand in hand with the warders of some of the prisons. So what they do is they get money transferred to the warders, and then they share 50-50. So they are still able to plan attack from the prisons. That's one of the reasons. Secondly, they said the armed forces are underfunded. Sometimes when we hear they've given $600 million to purchase arms, by the time they finish buying the arms and changing the money to dollars, they don't get anything meaningful. Each arm would be like $5,000. How many would they buy with that amount? So they are quite underfunded, and the fact that those warders, and they are not saying that it's all of them that are guilty, but some of them are heavily guilty working with this Boko Haram just because of the money they want to make.
Right.
Our problems are multifaceted.
We are our problems.
Let us go on a break. That's all we can take on Front Page Review.